Well, here I am this month hanging out in Eatonton, Georgia, in the middle of a field with a bunch of cows behind me. And if you get to thinking about this, some of those cows have more flies on them than others. And that got me wondering, why is that? And I got introduced to a gentleman on our campus at UGA in Athens, Dr. Ram Rakaya. Hey, Dr. Ram.
Hey, Nick.
And this gentleman knows a thing or two about flies on cows. And Doc, what's the problem with having flies on them other than it just kind of looks like it's annoying as heck? What's the problem?
Well, Nick, it's a big economic problem for our beef producers. Remember, every fly of those feeds on around 30 meals of blood a day.
Wow.
That will lead to a major economic losses that are around $1 billion based on 1991 estimates, and new estimates in 2018 put the economic losses due to these horn flies around $1.6 to $1.8 billion. And they still think those are underestimates.
Incredible. I mean, and you said horn flies. These aren't the folks, the little folks, the flies that are in our homes buzzing around. This is a different kind.
These are different kind of flies. These are a little bit smaller than the house flies, and they are roughly around 3 to 5 millimeters, roughly 1/8 to 1/6 of an inch.
Interesting. And obviously these ladies are somewhat upset maybe by us being here or the flies, but it causes stress for them. I can see. I mean, absolutely. And does that stress then relate to what?
Well, the stress because when the flies are feeding on those animals, right, the bites are painful for the animal.
Sure.
So that's the pain the animal will feel. And when you have 1,000 or 800 flies on the side of one animal, that will lead to a major pain to the animal. And that's why they see them moving their tails, trying to get rid of those flies.
Yeah, including me out here. And that kind of stress, that kind of movement's got to impact weight and milk quality. And Dr. Ram is a gentleman who's studying this stuff. I want to show you what UGA is doing about this problem, and I want to go there next. So let's fly there next. That little guy right there has close to a $2 billion impact on the cattle industry nationally. Doc, what's UGA doing about this?
Well, let me first tell you what other people are doing about it, and then we'll go to the UGA thing. Basically, there are 3 basic methods to manage or control horn flies. The first one is the so-called biological method. Okay? The second one is the disruption of the life cycle of the fly.
Okay.
And the third option is to use insecticides, to spray the animal with a certain insecticide. Well, obviously, UGA came up with a different way to look at the problem, and we are trying to focus on the host rather than the fly. So we are trying to see if we can use the cow itself to control flies. And this research has started based on some funding we got from the Georgia Beef Commission. And through that grant, we start looking at how can we control or manage the horn fly problem in beef cattle by trying to use genetic solution, meaning that will it be possible to identify animals that are more resistant, more tolerant to the horn fly, and then use those animals in our breeding scheme.
So I'm a farmer and I've got genetic information about each of my cows on my farm. Could you use that and help me identify which cows are more likely to have horn flies than others?
Hopefully that's our end goal, is to be able to develop or come up with a genetic solution based on genotype information that is available for some farmers now. So we are trying to conduct our association analysis to associate the resistance and tolerance to horn flies to these marker genotypes, and hopefully we could come up with a genetic or genomic signature that the farmer can use when they are selecting their heifers and animals.
Just so interesting. And I got to ask you this, Doc. Some of the folks at home may have read stories about painting white stripes on black cows, Angus cows, to make them look more like a zebra, because there's been some European studies that show that those white stripes help control those flies. What do you think?
Nick, I saw the same report I think you are talking about. And yeah, it's a research that has been done in Europe, and perhaps it's true what they are seeing. The only issue I have with that kind of research is that it's logistically complex to implement in a a production setup.
Absolutely. Unless you have a very rambunctious son or daughter that you need to give them something to do, get them out there painting the white stripes
right.
of the cows. Ron, thanks so much for today.
Thank
Gosh,
you,
I
Nick. How are you?
appreciate you.
Thank you.
So interesting. Y'all know what to do. While you're online looking up that study about the stripes, check out the Farm Monitor Facebook page. Check out the Ranger Nick Facebook page and see what I've got going on. And until next time, for the Farm Monitor, as I always say, I'm Ranger Nick, reminding you that enthusiasm is contagious. So pass it on. Y'all, thanks so much for this today. We'll see you back here next month. See ya.